Oh god, my cats are walking everywhere. Hello everyone, I bet you weren't expecting this at all. I wasn't either. So today I'm gonna be doing like an alcohol marker tutorial. Probably not gonna be the best thing in the world, but it's something. And you get to see my hands, which is so weird. I already have an illustration set up. I've tried recording it multiple times and failed. I'm kind of blind, so I had to like look really closely at the line art. I will mostly be using Ohuhu Markers, and I have the fine or the bullet nib ones. I don't have the brush tip ones, but I have Ohuhu's and I have Copic markers and I have Artify markers, which are these bad boys. I got this one as a gift from one of my teachers. God bless her soul. So these are pretty cheap, same with Ohuhu's. I have the 120 pack of Ohuhu's, and they're pretty good. I definitely recommend Ohuhu's. Not even a sponsor or anything, just my recommendation. So let's get to the tutorial finally. So what I like to do is I swatch all my colors, and these are my Copic sketch markers, these are the Ohuhu's, and these are the Artify markers. You don't have to do it all on one page like I did, but it was easier for me, so I did that. I recommend swatching because the caps don't always match the color, and you don't want to be in the middle of a drawing and go, oops, that's not the color I wanted. Like, even if you have a swatch page, I just recommend having like a loose page that you just test things out on. So what I did over here is I tested out some colors that I wanted on the character. I don't know where to start. I think I will start with her skin, just because in case anything bleeds, we can cover it up with the hair. So I will be using this one for her hair. So, with Ohuhu's, this is such a good bonus and I love it. Though this notebook, or this sketchbook is really huge, there is a plastic thingy to prevent bleeding on other pages, which is so helpful. So I'm going to be coloring the skin. My recommendation, do not color with the fine point. It just takes up too much time. So I would recommend coloring with the broad end, which is this end, the chisel. I believe that's also the alternative thing. My recommendation, color with alcohol markers when you have the time. I see so many people do this. They'll color and then they'll stop, and then it's like, they're like, oh, there's streaks, and it's like, well, because you need to be fast. So I recommend prepping yourself, because I have to like sit down and be like, oh my god, am I gonna be interrupted? Do I have to get up? So what I do, I flip the chisel nib a lot, so I'm gonna start right here. Now you can see with these markers, they kind of bleed out a little bit. So I don't recommend like, you know, coloring completely to the lines, but that happens with just traditional art in general. What's nice about traditional art is you kind of have to accept the little mistakes that happen, kind of like Bob Ross says. So we're gonna put this right here because we're gonna need this in a minute. Might have to use this. Might have to use my Copic marker for shading, but I'm gonna add some blush to her. We're gonna do some blending, which is spooky scary. And so you're gonna take your broad end of, the broad end of your blush color, which is, I am using 27. And so if you want, you can open this one up too. And so you're gonna hold one of these in the other hand that you're not drawing with right now. And so you're gonna carefully go in here, like that, and go over again, kind of blend out. It's gonna look kind of weird, but you have to just let it dry. So I'm gonna do that again with her cheeks. there's the blush. So you can do the same for her shoulders. It's like, oh wow, that's bleeding out a lot. My bad. So then you've got like blush. So cool. We're gonna use our Copic, like I said. So these are brush tip markers, and the reason why people prefer Copic so much is because of that. What's cool too with any alcohol markers, you can, after they dry a bit, you can layer them to add more depth. And you can do them also with the Ohuhus. So that seems pretty good for now. I understand it's kind of a grayish tone, which unfortunate, but that's okay. Happy little mistakes. So sometimes I like to take the base color again and kind of smooth out these parts if they need it, but I think it's fine for the most part. You'll notice that sometimes there's like this weird like edge thing when you blend out colors. It happens. I don't know what else to say with that one. And I did not pick out an eye color for this character, but I really want it to be a magenta for some reason, or like a pink red of some sort. So I'm gonna go here. So this is gonna be our base color, so we're gonna set that down first. We're also gonna use 8. So 8's actually gonna be like our light color, but we're gonna lay that down first because you can add like to the base color, but like it's kind of hard. But anyways, so we are just going to color the eye, and we're going to take 3. We're gonna use the fine tip for this time because small spaces. And then you can come back here. And then see, that looks fine enough, so we might not even need this. You can if you want, that is up to you. And so there's that. And so I've gotten those colors out of the way, and so what I like to do is I like to grab an even lighter color, CG1 gray. I don't know why I said gray at the end, but I did. I like to add a bit of shading to the eyeball, so I just go here. If you want to blend it out, I would recommend using the colorless blender, which is a very pretty blender. So I am going to be using, I think, 31 for the base color and then 93 for shading. I hate shading hair sometimes because I know I make a big mess of it, and a lot of my characters have dark hair. This is not a character, I just randomly drew her. Anywho, so 31 is the base color. I know it looks a little weird, but I tested it out and I think it is the color that I want. If not, then oh well. I have to prep myself because I'm probably not going to talk through this, but here we go. Ah! Okay. Okay, that works a bit. Okay, the hair is done. It looks a little streaky and I apologize for that, but I'm gonna be honest, adds a bit of texture to it. We have that laid down, so we're gonna set this aside because we're gonna need it again, and we're gonna go over it with 93. So you can use whatever for this. You can use the broad tip, you can use the fine tip, but really, you can do whatever. I have kind of shaded the hair. I'm not too happy with it, but you know, it happens. So sometimes this doesn't work all the time, so I'd recommend you test it. But sometimes when you go over the base color, you can kind of get a shine to it, but sometimes you can't. It just depends how light the color is and how many times you layer it. So I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you're okay with the texture. Now we're gonna do this for sure. So we're gonna use this cool looking color, which is G68 OK Focus. This color. We're gonna color this. Okay. Oh dear. Okay, so I finished that. So we're gonna keep this up here. And we're going to use 63, I think. So it doesn't look the best when blending, but that's fine. I don't mind too much. See, now that's a nice texture too, like right here, especially with the wrinkles, because it looks like, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but I really like the shading and how it blends. Oh dear. I have marker all over my hand. I need to touch up the pants with my micron, and I need to do some highlights, so I don't think that looks any better, sort of, maybe, anyways. And so I'm going to be adding some highlights, and I use a Sakura Jelly Roll pen in the size 10 because I figured they work better most times. A little shine to the eyeball. Let's also wait for that to dry actually, and I'll add more highlights to like her hair. And then I wait for it to dry a bit. Wait for it to dry. Although I think I can add the little pupil. Now sometimes after, okay, you can see I did a little bit of a mistake. I usually take the colorless blender and like that. Sometimes it bleeds out more, but sometimes it doesn't. If you have lighter colors, this actually might work a bit better. Traditional art is all about kind of just dealing with the mistakes. And I've learned that that helps a lot actually. And so you'll become more comfortable with your art. Obviously, you know, there are gonna be some mistakes you need to fix, but you know, that's the cool thing about art. So I think that is all. I hope this helped. I will list everything I used in the description below, and I will list some good alternatives to Copic markers. And I think that is all. I hope this helped you, and if not, I deeply apologize. So if you want any more tutorials, like maybe digital art, because that's something I am more comfortable with, I can definitely help out with that. I might do more traditional art videos sometimes, so if you want any more traditional art videos, I can totally do that. Maybe do like a sit down and sketch with me type of thing. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe maybe if you want, you don't have to. And I'll see you later. Bye.